Hey everyone, welcome back to Privately Outspoken. It's me, Sheryl Drinkall. My life is a podcast, and here we are again on a Tuesday. I have something exciting for you that is close to my heart, and I want to share it with you. Here's a little brain teaser. Have you ever truly met yourself? And I'm not talking about looking in the mirror. I'm talking about really diving deep into your own self-awareness world. So, yes, that is what we're exploring today, self-awareness and how unlocking this within ourselves can be a game changer for our personal growth and all our relationships. Let's begin with what self-awareness really means, okay? Imagine it's like flicking on a light switch in a dark room of your mind. Suddenly, everything's visible. You can see your thoughts, your emotions, and even those quirky habits that you might laugh about with your friends. All the dark humor stuff. I really believe genuinely that when we understand ourselves, we create a personal growth roadmap, like having GPS for the track that we want to stay on. And if we stray off of that, we can get back on it. We have inner clarity. We can drive through the barriers. We can achieve any of the goals that we have been dreaming about, that we see for our lives, because we do have the map in front of us. Self-awareness, when people hear that, they think it's only about you. It is, but it's also a superpower when it comes to our relationships. Once you do tune into your inner self, magic happens because you communicate more clearly and relate more deeply to the other people around you. How many people around the age of 40, let's say women, they begin to grow in a different way. Their needs change. Women, we know this. There's something that happens within that time when our children are at a certain age and we're coming out of that really deep, thick in the mud of child rearing. Our needs with our spouses and our partners become different. But the problem is that they are shell shocked. They are shell shocked because they just want everything to stay the same and they haven't grown with us. And that is a problem. And that is something that I see in so many different relationships out there right now. One thing that I do know and believe truly is you cannot change another person, but you can change ourself. So no matter what, like you can go to counseling, you can go to do all these things, and you can have multiple conversations with the person you're with in any type of relationship. That can be a relationship with your children, it can be a relationship with your spouse, it can be with your mother, with your father, with anything. But if you're not looking within yourself to see how you are, how you can become more self-aware, it's just going to be a revolving problem. And what happens when we dig deep into our own self-awareness is we become aware of how the smallest actions of ourselves, how they impact others around us. And when you realize that and you actually care that your actions do have a ripple effect, this awareness lets you interact with more intention, with more empathy, and you do start listening and understanding what people in your lives really need from you. It makes your life better. Imagine the boost that this gives you with all your connections and how rewarding that can be if you can just let go of your ego and look into yourself. So the question would be, how do we cultivate this amazing self-awareness, right? Let's start with something small, which I always, always, always advocate for, which is journaling. It's one of my all-time favorite tools. You just jot down your thoughts about the day, any decisions you've made, how those have made you feel. It's very, very eye-opening. Meditation, sitting in a quiet space. Something that I've done in the past is walking meditation, which is you're just going for a walk and you're thinking, you're meditating while you're sort of connecting with nature. Because I know that when you're out of something is when you can do your best thinking. It's very hard to think and make proper decisions when you're in it. So space is always helpful. It's really the foundation for meaningful change within our lives. When we're being hard on ourselves and we're doing inner work, we have to just always remember that it's a journey and it's not about just boom, being all in necessarily, but it's about taking tiny steps, something intentional every single day, like a path, right? Another important step to boosting our self-awareness is actively seeking feedback from those that you trust, because they provide different perspectives, new perspectives on aspects of yourself that you might not see. So approach your friends, approach your family, your colleagues, seek and ask them, what do you think are my blind spots? It's an enlightening exercise, but here's the key. Don't take the feedback personally. When you receive constructive criticism, it is essential to keep your ego in check. Remember, this isn't about pointing out flaws. It's literally an opportunity to understand how others are perceiving you. So listen without defensiveness, because it allows you to gain insight about your behaviors and interactions that you might not notice yourself. Take their perspective as valuable pieces of a puzzle that could help you complete the picture of who you are. This doesn't mean that you have to agree with every point that they make, but you can consider the view from another person's eyes and know that that can reveal patterns, that can reveal strengths and areas for growth that you might have overlooked or that you do overlook. Approach this process with an open heart and mind. Focus on learning and growing rather than reacting. Regularly engaging in this kind of reflection can really lead to some profound personal growth and more richer and empathetic relationships within our lives. You're working on your self-awareness in a path. And like any of our journeys in life, it's okay to stumble. It's okay if you're imperfect, but that is what makes you you. And embracing that part of you is beautiful. I'm going to wrap it up right here. I'd love for you to just try spending 5 minutes today in a quiet space and ask yourself, what's one thing that I have learned about myself today? Write it down and let it guide you, even if it's in the smallest of ways. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. If you felt a connection with this episode, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Keep pushing. Love you. Bye.